Ches Hamishpatim Bibechaye Parshas Yisro Daf Tzadik Beis Amud Aleph V'al Ken Nismech Chulu says in Bechaye that's why the Parsha is next to Ve'ela Mishpatim Ki mitoch Hamishpatim v'adinim yotzim b'nei Adam elu zakayin ve'elu chayavin. So Parshas Yisro is next to Mishpatim because of the judgments, the conclusions of those court cases. Yotzim b'nei Adam, some people come out, some are meritorious, and some are guilty. V'cheina ein inyan b'yom hadin shel tchias hamesim. And so too you have by the day of judgment of the revival of the dead, elu l'chayei olam, ve'elu l'charafos. So some are going to go to the world to come for the life that's forever, and some for embarrassment, l'diraon olam, and for being embarrassed forever. Daniel Yud Beis Beis Ad Kan L'Shonom. So there's some kind of connection between the judgment of the world to come and the concept of judges and justice in general. V'ayin minyan Pasuk v'rabi mishene b'gemara perekama d'Rosh Hashanah Daf Yud Zayin Suf Amud Beis. And look what's brought about this Pasuk, that many from those who are sleeping, yakitzu, they'll get up. In the Gemara, Rosh Hashanah, Uberashi v'Tosfos Sham, Ubeharai v'Bergimul, Milchos Tshuva, Vargas Maimonios v'Sanhedrin Kaf Beis Amud Aleph, Gemara. It says Hey Gimel Mem Yud Yud, but look, it's just Gemara v'Sanhedrin Kaf Beis, or maybe it is Vargas Maimonios. Anyways, Zohar Chelik Aleph, Parshas Noach. Tav Samach Tes Amud Aleph Vayera Kuf Yud Aleph Aleph Kuf Ches Kuf Lamed Tes Aleph Vayishlach Kuf Ayin Beis Vayin Vayigash Taf Resh Yud Amud Beis B'Shalach Nun Zayin Beis Mishpatim Taf Kuf Amud Beis Kuf Hey Beis Nasa Kuf Lamed Hey Suf Amud Beis. So all those Maramekomos V'Sham Nizbor, and there it explains in Nasa Ki Tal Shasilach Yospos Hamesim Nikra Tala De Bedulcha, that the dew that he's going to revive the dead with is called the dew of the crystal dew. Shulavan, which is white, Elishiesh given sumak, but it has a red color in it. Hainu halov and nimshach marichanpin. That is the white is drawn from arich, from keser mipnei nimshach bezah. Given sumak, and since it's drawn also into Zeranpin, it also has the red color. And that's why from there is drawn the revival of the dead. With these two concepts, whether it's for the life forever, if you merit the white part of it, and these to embarrassment, through the strictness and the red of Zah. V'sof Parshas Veschanan Daf Reish Amud Beis U'be'emek HaMelech Shar Shin Zayin Perek Yud Aleph Daf Kuf Kaf Tes Aleph Perush. So it explains Shezeu in Dodi Tzach V'Adom, that this is the concept of the Pasuk, that my beloved is pure and red. That the Tzach part refers to the Keser, like Tzach Tzachos, and the Adom is the red part, like Zeranpin, the Gvura of Zah, the Lovan and the Sumak. And the Veherich B'Zesham Perek Yud Beis Daf Kuf Lamed Aleph Amud Beis. And the Emek HaMelech is Marich, goes at length with this. V'yesh Mem Tes Panim Tamei Shenivdalu misumka dezachulu, and there's 49 facets of impurity that were divided because of the redness of Zeranpin and so forth, and especially from the hairs of Za, that the hairs of Zeranpin are a concept of Tzimtzum of Za. It's the concept of Hashem Ish Muhammad, like he brought before, the concept of Shimshon Agibor, with the inyan of Hashem Yichatu Mirivav earlier in the Mamer. Ve'inyan ze yuven al pi ma shekas b'shir hashirim bebir al pasuk shchorani v'nava. And this concept we can understand according to what's brought in Shir Hashirim, an explanation of the verse, on a Mamer on the verse, that I am dark but beautiful. Shebesayros dezat loin losase, that the negative commandments are dependent upon the hairs of Zeranpin, to push away the bad through the strictnesses and so forth. That corresponds with the lo saseh of the Torah, the negative commandments. And through this you draw down a higher concept than what's drawn down through the positive commandments that are dependent upon the hair of his head. That's like clean wool. That's in general a concept of keser, avarich. So through the lo saseh of Zah, you draw down in the black hairs of so to speak, you draw down a higher level than the white hairs of arich, of keser. So that's the black but beautiful. And with this you can also understand the embarrassment forever, that through pushing away the bad, you'll draw down an even higher level I'm not sure if he's implying that Lecharosfos L'Deraon might even be referring to a higher level than Chaye Olam, that it refers to the mitzvahs lo saseh of Zah that we said before, and L'Chaye Olam is Arich, but here maybe if you're fulfilling the negative commandments, you have the higher concept of Lecharosfos L'Deraon Olam. But he doesn't explain how it's higher. Ve'ela Mishpatim, and that's what it means. And these are the judgments. And that is that when you have ve'ela, the word, the vav in front of ela, so the rule is that it adds onto what's previous. Ki ela l'chaye olam, because these are to the life of the world, and then it says, and these are to charafos. It adds on even higher, even further to what's previously said, which was the chaye olam. So charafos is in a higher level because it comes from the lo saseh of Zah, and through this you add revelation of the supernal light, asher tasim, that's an even higher level, that you'll place in front of you, elu klei hadayanin. What does it mean? That you'll place in front of you, the mishpatim that you place, that refers to the vessels of the judges, or maybe the garments of the judges. But I comment the Sanhedrin daf zayin amud beis yishlomar. We can say al pi ma shekaz b'Torah or Parshas v'yeshev b'dibur hamaschil v'nasati l'cha mahalchim. We can say according to what it says in Torah or and the Mamer, that I'll give you those travelers gabe v'gam tadinis beisi, concerning the part of the Pasuk that says, and you'll also judge my house. Ki b'dvarim lo yivaser aved, that with words alone you cannot rebuke a slave. V'tzarich lahakos nefesh habahamis b'shevet, and you have to hit the animalistic soul with a stick, so to speak. V'hine berabos b'reishis, now so, or maybe kleadianin means the whips and the sticks for makas mardus and lashes of malchus. So that's kleadianin, that's asher tasim, that's tadines basi, the stick that you hit the nefesh habahamis with. Hini berabos breshis parsha chavav daf chavtes daled al pasuk mibli misim lanetzach yovedu. Now in Berabos breshis it says on the verse, without placing forever, you will be destroyed. So mesim here could be is like we said, the word dorish mesim, like asher tasim, without the judgments. Of simin daled dekai al hadin v'amishpat, that it refers to the judgment and the justice. That without that you'll vedu forever. You'll be lenetzach yovedu. K'moshikasuv tasim, like it says that you should place this in front of them. Hamishpatim asher tasim v'chinu b'Parshas Noach parsha lamed aleph daf lamed beis so amud gimel daled v'yesh lahayir, and we can awaken to this pasuk without placing v'inyan asher tasim, and in our pasuk that you'll place in front of them yashiv elav libo chulu, that if you'll place your heart towards him and so forth. But the pasuk is im yasim elav libo, if you place your heart towards him, rucho v'nishmas elav Yosef. So ki hine pirish yasim lashon sima, because if you place, your heart is a language of placing, hu inyan asiya gashmis, that it refers to when you place something, it's a physical act. V'afal pishi yasim elav libo, that even if you place to him your heart, dahainu elav v'lo lemidosav, what does it mean yasim elav, to him, that is to him and not to his attributes, ki yudu, as is known, mikol malkum bechinas re'usa d'liba zeh. But nonetheless, this desire of the heart, shuhu mebechinas hagshama sheba'adam, that's a physical part of a person, the part of the heart that can so to speak actually feel divinity, that part of the emotional construct that is in a person that can do that. It's called a physical act in comparison to the infinite light, may be blessed. A lovely bow, that is, if you place, so even though it's in your heart, it's still considered like a physical act. And it's if you place as a physical act towards him your heart, as a concept of a placement with a physical act, bilvad alone, and that's enough to be me'orah, the ruch v'nishmas elav Yosef. V'af b'tzadikim gemurim mikol shechim bebenunim, and even with the complete righteous, and how much more so, the Beinonim sheholchim kol hayom b'shrirus libam, that go the whole day with the freedom of their heart, binyanim gashmim, with their involvement in physical things, after heter, even if they're permissible, beisat tefillah, and in the time of prayer, afal pishi yisor levavo b'tachlis nekudas halev, even if they're awakened with the complete point of the heart, this is still only considered like a physical act, because their heart has become very physicalized, that even when they place upon their heart to cleave to him, it may be blessed. he Geshem Yechashev Chulu. That also will be considered physical and so forth. Even their davening, when they become spiritual. So Im Yasim Elav Libo. Mikol Makom Yasim Elav Libo. Nonetheless, it's still towards him. To a love, it's still towards him. May be blessed. Your heart, your heart towards him. And that is because, in comparison to the infinite, the spiritual and the physical are equal and so forth. So it doesn't matter that because of your coarseness, the rest of the day, even in a permissible way, or even for the tzaddikim, he says that they're physical, and their love towards Hashem is physical. It doesn't matter, it still will work because the spiritual and the physical are equal to him. And so forth. Because like his name, so too he is infinite and so forth. And this that it says, if you place the Pasuk says Im Yasim Elav Libo, it's like a question. We don't know if you'll place Ha'inyan, who the concept is al derech ha'pashut. Simply, we can explain the Mishum de Messiah Sof Pasuk Huruchu v'nishmasu Elav Yasov, that since the end of the verse says that your spirit and your soul will be gathered to him. She says totally b'tanai, that this is dependent upon this the im yasim elav libo, that if you place your heart towards him, only then will you have v'ruchu v'nishmasu elav yasef kacham im yasim lashon safek. That's why it says that if you place in a language of doubt, ha'inyan hu, I'm sorry. That's why it says it in a way of doubt, because if you do not place your heart, your spirit will not be gathered to you and so forth. You won't have the Yisrus Delayla. So, Ubir Hadvarim, to explain these matters in Yidua, so it's known that through the arousal from below, that's when you have the arousal from above specifically. But at first, the flow came from above because Hashem desires kindness, and afterwards it's dependent upon the arousal from below of the feminine waters. Therefore, if you place unto him and so forth, and that's when you draw down the masculine waters, and that's the concept of the ruach and the neshama that you come to you afterwards. Umash amaruchu v'nishmaso dekayel atzmus v'rein sof tafka, and this that it says the ruach and his ruach and his neshama will come to you. That and we're actually referring here to the essence of the infinite light that we said elav elol midosav im yasim elav rucho im yasim elav libo. The ruach shel atmos v'nishmaso nimshachulu, that we're talking about the ruach and the neshama of the essence being drawn down and so forth. The ruach shel atmos v'nishmaso nimshachulu ha'inyan, the concept is dahainu b'chinas ruach v'neshama datzilus. That refers to the concept of ruach and neshama of atzilus shemeidim be'olmos hanifradim, that shine into the separate worlds and so forth, that in Klalos HaOlamos Atzilus is Bechinas Chaya, and the Elokus that's drawn into the lower worlds through the Lamed Kelim and so forth is the concept of Neshama. And ruach, apparently. Vehin beis madregos hayeduim, and these two concepts of neshama and ruach refer to the two concepts that are known, bechinas memala kol almin, ubechinas soviv kol almin, which are which is that which encompasses fills all worlds and encompasses all worlds. Dehine, that the concept is bechinas memala kol almin nikra ruach, that which fills all worlds is called ruach, like it says that with the word of Hashem the heavens are made, and with the spirit of his mouth are all of the hosts, and so forth. So that's ruach, that all the creations that are within creation are the concept of the ruach. And the concept that encompasses all worlds is called the soul, the neshama, like the concept of the neshama that's not enclosed in the body, that part's called the neshama. It's an encompassing concept in comparison to the ruach that's inside a person. And even higher, it refers to an even higher concept than an atzilos, rather the ruach and the neshama of the essence of the emanator, that's what shines into the world of atzilos, not atzilos downward. And that's why it says that his ruach and his neshama will be gathered to him, meaning a love, meaning to Atzilus, to have the enclothement of the lights in the vessels and so forth. Yasof, meaning gathered into the kelim. And concerning this concept of, if you will place, Gimel Shin Lamed Vav Gilgulim Mem Beis Gimel Be'iyov Lamed Daled Yudaled Perush Rashi. So concerning this pasuk of Rashi, so Rashi says in the one in concerning Im Yasim in Iyov, Im Yasim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Libo Al Adam Lashchiso. So Miblim Misim Panech Lenetzach Yovedu. So it says, if you place the Holy One Basabihi, your heart, if he places your heart unto you to destroy you, or maybe the Holy One Basabihi, he places his heart under the person to destroy him. Lama Yavo Ba'alila Alav. Why does he come with some kind of plot against him? Immediately his ruach and neshama will be gathered onto him. Or why should a person be complain to Hashem? You'll immediately be gathered, your ruach and neshama, to Hashem, and something like that. So the Metzudos explains, if you place your heart, seems this is the Perush on the Pasuk, Yasim elav rucho v'nishmasa. So im yasim libo al ha'olam, that if you place your heart towards the world, to change it all from something to nothing and so forth, meaning to nullify the world towards Hashem. So it's a concept of your placing your heart towards avodas Hashem. Berabos Preshi Sof Pashi Daladi Sake Perush Rashi, and the Medrash Rabbah brings, like Rashi said, V'shilchin al kol neshama tzarich lahalel, and therefore every soul needs to praise. V'zeu kol neshama tahalel, and that's why it says all the souls should praise. Zohar Chelik Aleph Kuf Nun Zayin. Uso Machshava Mashich Mishichu Chulu. And with that desire and thought, he drawing and so forth. If you place your heart onto him and so forth. So, meaning to say that according to Rashi, it's the destruction of your soul and so forth that Hashem could bring you in, and it says so. That's as it is in Berabos Parshas. But the Zohar says, "Ubahura usa the machshava," that with that desire and thought, mashich mishichu chulu, you draw down isarusa de leila im yasim elav libo chulu, if you place your heart towards him. So the Zohar says it as an isarusa de l'sata and isarusa de leila ruach. And therefore, in prayer, you need to have a desire and thought to this intention and so forth to arouse from above. It says that a spirit draws down a spirit and brings a spirit. When the sign for this is if you place your heart towards him and so forth. And in Zohar Korach it says that if you place your heart towards him in repentance, therefore the Holy One, blessed be he, his ruach and his neshama will be gathered to him, meaning towards Hashem, I guess, to be bundled with the bundle of life. Tikkun Zohar Ayin Aleph Aleph. So I guess another place it says in Zohar, it says in Tikkunim Zerugam similarly. Zerugam kin inyan v'sam derech arenu. This is also like the verse, and there, that there I will place the path towards him. I will show him the path. So maybe the dorsh v'sam on v'sam derech tilim sof simenun v'amru razal. And our sages said, but a comment. The first chapter, the Moed Katan, Daf Hey, so from Aleph, Kol Samur Chosav Chulu, that anyone who places their paths towards Hashem and so forth. So it's a concept of Tasim Lifnehem is like placing your path towards Hashem. Lifnehem, Tasim Lifnehem. So the next word in the Pasuk, Shal Yidezeh Yihi Hashem, Hashem Panav Elecha Chulu, that in front of you means, like the verse, that Hashem will shine his countenance, his panav towards you, Lifnehem, and so forth. Ube'eruv in Daf Nun Dalet Beis, Laharos Lo Panim, it says to show him that he shows favoritism towards you. Al Derech Umare Lo Panim, that he shows him his countenance. Hainu Tikkun ve'emes. That is of the tikkunim, of the 13 attributes is the tikkun of emes, the shining part of the face without the beard, without the tzimtzum chachmas adam tayir panav chulu, that the wisdom of a person shines their countenance. So in study of Torah, there's also a concept of mari lo panim, to show a facet of your idea. And that's the wisdom shines your countenance. And that is in our context, that through the mishpat, tasim lifnehem, so to speak, we will be face to face and so forth. Panim bepanim dibar Hashem. Gam pirosh asher tasim. Also to explain another explanation of that you'll place in front of them. Lihiyos vasim dvarai beficha, from the language of I will place my words in your mouth. V'dvarai asher samti beficho, and like the verse, and my words that I've placed in your mouth. Ki hakoach she'atorah nikra'oz v'toshia, because the strength that the Torah is called the strength, and the weakeners are al yidei shu dvar Hashem hamedaber befiv. This is through with that it's the word of Hashem that speaks in his mouth. V'zeu anitan b'matan Torah. That's what was given by the giving of the Torah. V'yidaber Elokim chul, that Elokim spoke and so forth. More to say that we should say it and have this oz v'toshia ability to strengthen the divine soul and the weaken the animal soul. And through, and how do you have the words of Hashem drawn into your mouth? That's through the justice, through the so Hamishpatim asher tasim lifneihem va'asim dvarai beficha v'kemo shegazu Berabos Mishpatim mikan u'Mishpatim mikan, like it says in Berabos that you have Mishpatim on this side and you have Mishpatim on that side, v'adibros be'emtza, and that you have the Aseres Adibros in the middle in terms of what's brought in the Parshas. So Mishpatim, you have Mishpatim before and Mishpatim afterwards. I guess the Dayanim, the Parshas of Dayanim in Yisro, or something like that. Mashal Matrona Shahaisa Maleches Zayin Milafanev Zayin Lachrechulu. It's compared to a matron who was traveling, and there's guards, soldiers, armed soldiers behind her, and armed presence. And armed presence in front of her, and armed presence behind her, and so forth. Pirush Matrono Malchus. What is this matron that refers to Malchus? Torah Shebal Peh, which is the oral Torah. And it's the concept of my words that I placed in your mouth. That you place them in front of, and it's like the word that I placed in your mouth, meaning the oral Torah that's in your mouth, Torah Shebal Peh, Beficha. And that's why that she is traveling, which is the concept of halacha, malchim, hadibur meir befiv chulu, and that the words shine in your mouth and so forth. In order to draw this down, it's through the judgments in front of her. Mishpatim asher tasim lifneim hainu mashakasav gabi mara. That what are the judgments that we're talking about here that were before Matan Torah? That's in Mara. Sham samlo choku mishpat. That it says there. That's where that over there he placed a statute and a justice and a judgment of mishpatim lachreya. And what are the judgments that are afterwards? Ve'ela Hamishpatim chulu. That's this parsha of these are the mishpatim. So I guess the Mishpatim before and after might be the so I guess there's the written part of the Torah concept of it that are before and after her, and you also have the oral Torah, the Mishpatim asher tasim lifneim, that you place in the mouth. Because the nurturance of the external is in two ways. Ha'alef lamata. The first is below, and that's through a person's desires, that through a person lowering themselves, it causes her legs to go downwards and so forth. The malchus, her legs, so to speak, the feminine aspect, her gives a yanika down towards the death, the external. That's the yanika from below. Habezim tagbi kenesher, and the second is if it lifts itself up like an eagle, like it says by Adam, like it says in the Mamer of that a man fought with Yaakov, the concept of Esav, and that's why you have to have this being armed in front of her. The concept of mara, of bitterness, which is the concept of sweetening the bitterness to sweetness, like Moshe sweetened the waters Hefech hataiva, to switch the person's desire that's before it, meaning below. And through this, they have no nurturance from below, and then you go upwards. And the concept of if you lift yourself up like an eagle, it's the concept of a haughtiness and coarseness afterwards. So you have to have mishpatim against that as well. The klezain acharei, after the queen. And that's why it says here afterwards, after the giving of the Torah, that these are the mishpatim, the judgments that from Torah afterwards. Berabos, Parshas Mishpatim shesamchu lo tale b'malos chulu le'velo tale shesamchu le'velo tale b'malos chulu. That it says in Medrash Rabbah that this parsha is right after don't go up on steps on my mizbeach and so forth. Meaning to say that as you're going upwards, you shouldn't be magbiya kenesher. That the Medrash says that you should take big steps in judgment. I know hanava, that is to say that you need the psiagas is the concept of coarseness and haughtiness. Rather, you have to have the concept of humility. Hanava, hepech hagasus, the opposite of coarseness. And through this, you draw down from above. That if you lift yourself up and so forth. From there I will bring you down. Havaya says, Hadibur shel Havaya, Mashin Nimshach, that the words of Hashem that are drawn, V'dvarai shesamti b'ficha, the words that I've placed in your mouth, Asher tasim lifneim, so the Mishpatim afterwards, Nu'um Havaya, so I will bring you down. The Pasuk says, Hashem says, and that's Asher tasim lifneim, Dvarai shesamti b'ficha neum havaya. And this is the concept of the 10 Commandments of the Vaydaber Chulu that Hashem spoke, Lemor Chulu, that we should say, and so forth, in order to accomplish this. Like we said before.